Okay, so here's an ace tanker game on wherever this is, Glacier, Sweden, wherever they call it. I'm gonna take my Progetto or standard B to the middle. Try to get some crossfire going. It's frequently the case that you can get a side shot or two and then you have to fall back down really quick up the ridge. It's awesome when you get pushed in the back. It's pretty helpful. So we got a couple early spots and early shots. I don't really think that good players get caught there frequently. They either take a wide enough path or direct enough path to stay under it. But when already in the game, I feel like I can use this spot reasonably. This tank does have 10 degrees of gun depression. The idea here is to try to keep the middle spotted and take opportunistic shots. Don't force anything. There's almost certainly going to be tank destroyers on Overwatch that would love to shoot me like that. And I'm not sure if I was spotted the whole time, that would seem a little odd, or if you just kind of took a blind shot. So this IS-3 is kind of working up, and as I drive over to shoot at him, I'm kind of starting to think, okay, actually, this is not a super good trade. We both have autoloaders and can give each other trouble. So I don't know if I want to just sit there and trade, but maybe take one. And not two. I've generally, it's helpful to get tanks down to a one-shot. They play way more passively if that's the case. I thought he wasn't going to spot me there for a second. So getting the IS-3, though I didn't kill him, killing obviously skill secure is really valuable, but getting him to a one-shot makes him not want to push. You know, we have tank destroyers on Overwatch. On the north, it looks like we have plenty of heavies there, and we should be able to win that fight. It's like a 6-on-2 in the south. There's a little gap there. I should try to shoot that one maybe. In the south, I feel like we're just letting the enemy come to us a little bit. That's the nice thing about this position, is that you can shoot towards the south, you can shoot across the middle. If they're trying to work up onto the hill, you can shoot up onto the hill as they're driving into position. And so usually when I'm driving here, I'm looking at that and seeing if I need to stop what I'm doing and then shoot the guys in the back that are going up the hill. There wasn't really light tanks on this map, so I didn't really expect that to happen. A medium tank goes there and gets cut out, it's going to be pretty bad. So there's probably another tank up there. You saw the tree fall away from where the other tanks are. Somebody finds an angle on him. Not sure. It was a G-SOAR. Or the T-28, actually. They must have found an angle, looks like. So now, it's not clear to me that we're going to get a lot of spots there. Or I mean, like, guys aren't going to get spotted there, so... And our guys are pushing aggressively on the edge here, so potentially I can shoot these guys in the back as they fall around. I just gotta be careful not to go too high for those tank destroyers like that Conway. But finishing off tanks there is going to be good for our team. There's a guy going up on the hill now. I should have probably been shooting that Progetto. I noticed him too late. You know, I would have had to annihilate my reload, but he was so exposed I probably would have shot it, and I don't really think I'm going to get another shot soon. So, we've won the north pretty well. It'd be nice to knock this 103 out of the game if I can do it without getting spotted before I shoot. Like if I'll probably get spotted when I shoot, but there's M103's working up the hill now. Yeah, he actually is working up the hill. I should probably prepare to shoot him. Already got him. Okay. Prez Shadow's not going to have the view range to spot me, so I should be able to work kind of on my own pace here, rather than be overly worried about him. Just assume I'm going to be spotted by one of these TDs when I shoot across here. So we still got a ton of tanks camping. They're starting to move now. I think. So what often happens is the TDs get so dug in, and you win the north, but you can't really use it per se. And so, you know, again, I'm dipping into my reload there because I didn't think I was going to get another shot in the near future. But yeah, so those guys get bogged down there in the north. You can see we just lost like 3 tanks. I feel like a better play would be to attack down from the south here. Yeah, you know, you can see the hit points. These are pretty manageable tanks. I do think there's a tank here because of the way a tree fell that that we don't know about yet. So I could go help those guys. I feel like they've got it, and I'll be better off kind of spotting through here. It's pretty unexpected to find the the E5 there. That was, this guy obviously is not playing a top tier heavy to its strengths. But ideally I can use my vision and presence here to keep some of those side shots off. So I think currently we have everybody spotted now, in the last location at least. I'm actually really nervous about getting spotted by that 105, or not getting spotted, by him rushing me. If he wanted to just come down and kill me, he probably could. I'd probably bounce 1 or 2, even though this tank has 268 standard pen. Probably bounce 1 or 2 of them off the front as he rushed me. And it actually would be a really good play for him too, because I think he could get into me without taking much fire. So what can I do? Well, I want to be careful about spotting the E5 because he'll have the first shot advantage through the bush, and I'll need to be careful about getting spotted where the Borsig shot me previously as well. The Borsig's in a little bit of a precarious position. He has to be in those rocks there, and it's tough to get certain firing angles without exposing vision. So I should be able to spot him like that. Hopefully the Swedish tank destroyer doesn't hit me. That was a little bit lucky. Maybe I should have fallen back a little bit before I shot that one. Still, the E5 really should come rush me. You look in the battle that's going on in the south, it's pretty crazy that we haven't just rushed out that standard B yet. With our 3 or 4 tanks that are left. So I'm starting to wonder if this E5 is smart enough to have moved yet. And he is obviously not, he's still there. Just being a top tier heavy. So with the Borsig cleared out of the middle, I could potentially make a play to try to get under the guns through the middle. But I think... Oh, I was also worried about getting spotted by the IS-5 the E5 as I left this position. So I'm trying to just get lucky here. But the E5 is just going to sit there. There's not really a realistic way for me to take him out frontally. The idea here is I'm going to go, since my heavies and tank destroyers are not pushing this Y tank, I'm not really sure what he's waiting on. He could easily go push the standard B. Because I remember from before that, though I haven't seen it in a while, he was shot at least a couple times. I believe he's a one-shot. So now he decides to go down frontally to try to attack the E5.
Support my position.
Hopefully gonna get this tank destroyer to come with me.
Moving to cover your flank.
I would expect their 103 not to really ever leave the back line either. I wish ours would. You know, we're in a position where we have map control, so he needs to really start to move up to try to secure this game. Already just fired and blind fired, I think. Missed, so I feel pretty good about going around this area here and shouldn't get blasted by Artie.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
While he's on reload. C5 is being pretty stubborn. There's already shot. Pretty good anticipation of where I would have been moving there actually. I don't think I'm gonna have shots on him, but I guess I spot him. Maybe I should have backed up there. So these are, I think, tricky shots. He's giving me the side of his turret. These are APCR shells that really shouldn't do that well against all the kind of funky gentle curves of that tank, and it's also really thick frontally. If he pointed his turret at me, I probably wouldn't have penned him, because I'm not sure if I was down angled enough to the top of his hull to pen him either with that. So I'm loading the heat now, anticipating that I'm going to have to do that. Shoot down onto his hull. This is the first premium shots I fired in this game. Like I said, the regular pen of this tank is really strong. So, yep, he's still there, of course. That one doesn't pen. I'm not sure where that one went to the side of his turret. Didn't pen. Somehow a little lucky there that both SRV and the Artie missed me. I probably could have driven up to this rock to shoot first based on where their dudes were. At this point I'm just trying to maximize here and get out and have a even more wonderful game. So I'm just gonna, I feel like we've got this one now. It's just Artie and this tank destroyer that isn't very flexible. I probably could have waited one more second there to reload entirely. But this is just, I guess, me YOLOing a little bit at the end of the game. More than I needed to. But this will be a part, you know, it's 2 minutes and my team was clearly not going to go either. So, I don't know, maybe I was able to inspire them to push the W key. I had a pretty good game in this. This is an ace tanker. I was frustrated that my team just will not move. Like after the 110E5 was killed, there's no reason that those guys shouldn't have started moving and starting to attack, especially these guys with full health. So that's one of the things that definitely frustrates you in World of Tanks, because you know I potentially had another shot or two of damage to do there if we were moving in, and I wasn't the one just being cannon fodder, but you know, I'm trying to grind marks of excellence on this tank, so getting some spotting damage is probably worthwhile as well. So here's another standard B battle on steps. This is my favorite flank to play from because I think it has better cover. This is an ace tanker game as well. You know, it's not super dynamic. It's subtly dynamic, I guess. But you know, assessing the map, you really can't play this thing down in the water on the one line because it'll get shredded. Going through the middle is so dangerous, especially when a lot of tanks have such great view range, and there's an Artie, so that would potentially really screw up a game. So when I'm on the south, I really like to go to these bushes and be probably too passive by some standards. But again, there's not a lot of tanks that I really want to play in close quarters. This is definitely a support tank. I can't really beat tanks one-on-one in close quarters because of poor DPM. That one's insane that I missed. That was probably poorly aimed. And then that one finally goes. I shot those three to dry out my auto reloader, thinking that I wouldn't have a shot in the near future, but I thought it was gonna, you know, and the same is true now. So I might as well take that last shot and then reload, reassess. Because I mean, what am I gonna do? Shoot this E5 as he's like poking a hill? You know, there's not really a great place for me to do anyway. So our team, I like the aggression. You gotta be careful poking that because there's almost always a tank destroyer in the back. I'll try to play the support tank here. Hopefully get a shot. Track no damage. Maybe we should have shot again, but again I'm working against my reload there still. It was tanks when this is dry, it takes so long to reload. I feel like you really gotta have sure shots when you're gonna fire it dry, or even fire. I don't mind firing 2, I guess, but firing 3 can be pretty brutal. Like here's a good example. I fired early because I knew that I wanted to put damage into the Leopard. I probably should have went for a track. A little bit better. He was tracked, and I think he repaired it right after I shot him. Or got it repaired. I don't think he used his repair kit. Tough shot. He slid down the hill there. Once in a while, if you don't knock these bushes over closely or carefully, you'll get hit. See blind fire there. I must have hit him because he fired right back at me. I'm not sure if I did. I think I did damage. So bush mechanic here a little bit. These E5 could give our guys a lot of trouble. Can fire early there. It's just tough. You never know. Oh, sorry, that wasn't firing early. That was cool. You know, I kind of want to try to keep my clip pretty full in case these guys come blasting around the corner. But, you know, at the same time, damage is damage, and just in order to win and also to have statistically good games, you have to shoot, and you have penetrating shots available. And then bounce the PTA, that's also insane. It's been a crazy angle. The tough thing about where that PTA is that usually he's going to be stuck there for the rest of the game. Oh, that's a tough one too. It's really hard to dig out of that. So here the E5's rushing our guys that are getting low on hit points, so I'm going to spend my shot there to try to save them. You know, if this breaks down much more, I'm always thinking, okay, I'm just going to run away. Get back into the cover. Tough one there too. Probably should have aimed it a little better. I may have just got my 61 shot a little bit. But nah, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's getting shot on his own accord. Try to get it reloaded here. I obviously just saw what happened to him when he got spotted, so I need to be careful. 5120. Hard to know when he's going to be reloading. It looks like he's probably posturing to reload right now. So in some sense, it'd be nice to knock the AE phase 1 out. The Leopard's a total wild card. I have no idea where he is until now. CS59. Try to bush mechanic him a little bit. So I saw the fire to repair, and so I'm going to go right again and empty dry because I expected that he blew his fire extinguisher there. And if I can hit him in the same spot to an already damaged fuel tank or whatever, it should light up again. So I think I know where most of the people are. I think the Leopard's going to be playing safe because of his hit point scenario. These guys below me are roughly one shots, so Part of me really wants to go in, get a full load here and just go in and clip them out. And then just use the hills for cover in order to try to stay away from the leopard. But when he does this, it'll be helpful. So I'm committing now. Interesting he didn't spot me. I don't know if he had dead commander or the trees were in the way or whatever. And yep, there's the 20. So 2 quick kills. Already still in the game, gotta be a little careful. I was kind of wondering if the Leo would push me there too. But I don't think he really has hit points to in retrospect. So I'm going to go try to dig him out now that I'm on a full reload. And I don't believe he has any support tanks. I believe the PTA is still in that bush. STRV-103B is probably in that bush through the middle, so he's not really going to be in support position either. The Leo has actually played generally pretty well, so when I don't see him, I'm going to expect him to be up in A4 or have fallen all the way back across the entire map, potentially. Just trying to get to a spot here to spot out. Hopefully kill Artie. I think probably the Leo. So Leo is up there. He may have spotted me. Artie may. I don't think they Artie probably spotted me. I think he's too far away. So I know he's there. The bad thing about that spot for him is that it's really limited, and so I can be a little careful about what angles I take. I was planning to come over and find the PTA and go into the dip. The 277 should be putting enough pressure on the 103B where he can't really just rip over this and shoot me. I could take one from the Leo on the hill right now. But it was fortunately I did not. The 103B likely also fell back if we're not spotting him by now, and sure enough there he is. So this position will, if I shoot here, it actually will get me spotted from where the Leo was, Leopard 1. This tank has fair camo, yep, fair camo until you shoot, like a lot of things, like with all the bells and whistles. I think I was able to get it up to like something actually really deep for how big it is. Like, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's like in the 27% camo rating while moving or something like that. There's a Top Gun. I wish he wasn't spotted there because I would have certainly been able to kill him. Just not quite able to get that last shot on him. But overall, yeah, 6,000 damage that we saw, little spotting, and I was able to get another ace tanker in this game. And I think the thing to, I don't know, what would I comment on? I'd comment that that first position I went to is like kind of lame, but also totally appropriate for this tank. And it's not like I lived and died by that position. I was able to break out of there and attack into beat up heavies later. If they had any health, I would have probably fallen back away from that if their heavies had health, because they would have certainly started to push up there, get me spotted out. It was clear that the Leo and the Leo PTA had firing angles on us as well. So there's ways that I would have played it differently had that flank gone differently. But yeah, I mean, getting as much free damage as you can and then pushing out to secure a flank, it worked well.